Other interesting cultural news, you have 4 teens stomp a kid to death, but they're just being slapped on the wrist, charged as juveniles, and the law is going easy on them because there's no justice for many. Now, this happened apparently in Las Vegas and went viral. Now, they say that, quote, 4 teenagers in Las Vegas initially charged with second-degree murder and conspiracy in a fatal beating of 17-year-old Jonathan Lewis have accepted a plea deal to plead guilty to voluntary manslaughter as juveniles. The decision has sparked outrage among the victims' families and the public, with many expressing disbelief and frustration over the leniency of the sentencing. Critics argue that the punishment does not match the severity of the crime, highlighting concerns about the criminal justice system's handling of violent offenses committed by minors. The plea deal allows the defense to avoid being tried as adults and potentially receive lighter sentences, aiming for rehabilitation and integration in society. They should be, the judge should have went for the death penalty in this case. I say that because the law has several different degrees of manslaughter versus murder. There are reasons for that. Now, it's one of those things where, again, if you're a teenager, and again, we've all done stupid things in our life. If you're a teenager, and let's say you break the law, you drink and drive, and you accidentally hit someone with a car and they pass away. They die. You killed them. They're not going to charge you with murder. It wasn't premeditated murder. It's manslaughter. You should be put in jail for a long time. And depending on your religious or faith system or belief system, maybe you push for the death penalty. But in those instances, usually the rule of thumb averages they don't go for the death penalty. It's 30, 40 years in jail. And because it wasn't intentional, they were inebriated. You could argue they were intentionally because making a decision to drink. I understand that. But they weren't intentionally picking that person to hurt them. In this case, they were apparently all sober, and they beat him to death by kicking him. It may not have been premeditated, but that is making a cognitive decision to go walk over to someone and cause them extreme harm. 4 against 1? It's not like you're slapping him on the wrist. That is serious bodily harm. In this case, they passed away from that. And with the justice system in the United States, of course, the book was not thrown at these pieces of human scum. They instead get a juicy plea deal, ensuring that they'll someday be back on the streets, statistically speaking, to cause more harm. Now, one of the first profiles to bring this up was End Wokeness, and it's heartbreaking to actually see the mother interviewing her, and you can see, I guess they're mugshots, so I can't give them too much crap for not wearing suits, because all men should suit up. Unfortunately, there's no one there to defend the child who is being abused from these monsters, human scum. You get 4 against 1, and yeah, this definitely is a child-friendly segment of the show. We might show one of the clips where you show them kicking the person. It's censored, so you don't see blood, but yeah, definitely cover the ears if you have children listening.
They knew he was going to die, and that's how I feel. And they're letting them get away with murder.
That's a mother's reaction to a plea deal reached between prosecutors and those teenagers accused of killing.
This is brought to us thanks to credited to 8, I believe the CBS 8 logo there.
Her son. Now, all 4 were originally indicted for the murder of 17-year-old Rancho High School student Jonathan Lewis. As 8 News Now education reporter Joshua Peguero explains, it's back to juvenile court.
9 months after the death of Jonathan Lewis, this memorial still stands. You see some of the items people have left behind, including this ribbon, Justice for Jonathan, which his mother says wasn't achieved on Thursday.
There is no justice for my son, Jonathan Lewis, that was stomped to death and murdered while 20 people stood there and did nothing more than film it and broadcast it to social media.
That's the cultural demise in the United States. We also have issues. We have Daniel Petty. When people intervene and try to do the right thing, the courts punish them as well. So that's led to more and more people just being bystanders, just filming it. 50 years ago, you would never let this happen. If you saw someone in danger, you would throw your stuff down, you would help and intervene, stop the evil. Yet the justice system in the United States punishes the good guy pretty much every time. I think that's another variable into the cultural demise of the United States.
Lewis's death led to the arrest of 9 of his Rancho High School classmates. 4 of them, Damon Hernandez, Dontrell Beaver, Travion Randolph, and Gianni Robinson, were in Clark County.
His name is Beaver? That's just ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as his name like Topping. Oh wait, I partially digress.
District Court Thursday morning.
Defendants will each admit to the crime of voluntary manslaughter.
prosecutors announcing those 4 will no longer be treated as adults. Instead, they'll be sent back to juvenile court. Melissa Reddy says prosecutors told her different last week.
I was told that they were going to plead guilty to murder and that the most they would get in the adult system would be 2 years.
Reddy also says she wasn't notified of Thursday's hearing. If she was,
I would have disagreed with the deal being made entirely. They should be held accountable as adults. They made an adult choice. They knew that when they were stomping on my child's head, that he was going to die as a result.
Jonathan Lewis died days after this fight.
Disgusting. And now they're going to juvie court like a slap on the wrist. I got 180,000 views and 6.9 thousand likes. One of the first comments comes from Gunther Eagleman saying, quote, "The world is falling apart. The teens should spend the rest of their lives behind bars." True, getting 429 likes. He also says, "Our justice system is broken. It's not right," getting 735 likes. Paul Zazupa says, "The two-tier justice system in America is getting worse. Jonathan Lewis deserves his assailants to receive real legal justice, not this farce," getting 251 likes. Now, it just so happens in terms of, and again, some of these comments will bring it up, but the individual who was killed was a white guy, and these are, I think, 3 African-American and 1 Mexican-American, maybe? Scrolling down more and more. Florida 1 says, "The media would say, or what would the media say if the skin colors were reversed? They would be outraged, riots, and Kamala would have a press conference." True, getting 207 likes. Jeremy Carl says, "If you're white, the system hates you. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you begin to formulate a useful plan of action," getting 184 likes. Yeah, also, "Vote for district attorneys who will actually prosecute crime appropriately. That is the most effective methodology in addition to a cultural shift to fix the United States, I believe." Again, wherever you are in the United States, your vote matters. Make it count. And if there's no one primarying that judge, shoot, do it yourself. Here. Base Electrician says, "If they were charged as felons, they wouldn't have struggled to become future city council members." Getting 73 likes. Brendan says, "Jonathan Lewis's life did not matter much because he was a straight white male. If he had been a transgender, even simply called himself they, them, his murder would have been much bigger news, and murderers would have been getting serious sentences." And 77 likes, which, yeah, it's fascinating to see which stories the mainstream media highlights and which ones they kind of just pushed under the rug. Going down more and more. Ryan Rips, the left, says, "This won't stop until you low-level IQ leftists stop voting for the Communist Party," getting 52 likes. I mean, if it's all in your, why would they stop if it's working in their favor? Red Wave Press says, "Criminals get a slap on the wrist while victims and their families suffer," getting 85 likes. True. Bruce Bilal says, "It's complete BS. These kids are animals to be locked up for a long time." Amen to that. Getting 71 likes. American Meme says, "When you have a leftist court system, actual criminals always get a sweetheart deal." True. Getting 51 likes. You have Jim from The Office with the cliche point to the whiteboard meme. Sandy posted it. She says, quoting, Jim pointing, says, "Riots, soft on crime, bail reform, and resulting violence is just an excuse to disarm Americans and bypass the Constitution." Gave 15 likes. So, not a lot of contrarian statements. And cover your eyes. We'll show the quick video here. Or if you have youth tuning into the show or children in the room, cover their eyes. It's censored, but about 39 seconds, we'll play that video. And this is credited to Colin Ruck. He says, quote, oh, you already know the backstory, which heartbreaking. I mean, this is so disgustingly clearly intentional. Here you can see a whole bunch of them stomping him to death.
It's 23 CR 087 681 003. 23 CR 087. We're going to start with Mr. Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez, present.
Here you are, press in custody.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez, did you receive a copy of this criminal complaint? Do you undertake for it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Special Public Defender to recollection.
Sociopaths. They give sociopaths a bad name. No remorse in their eyes. They look annoyed or confused. Ridiculous. Arthur Eagleman responded to that, saying our justice system is completely broken, getting 1.3 thousand likes. Jakey says, was this victim white? If so, why was this labeled as a hate crime? Because it only works the one way around. Getting 425 likes. Which, yes, heartbreaking to see. All Americans are clearly not treated equally under the legal system. And I hope this is brought to people. I hope all of this evidence keeps being brought forth to more and more people so they can see the horror before their eyes and vote differently. And yet we need some new judges, we need new district attorneys, and we need a cultural shift to treat everyone equally under the law. These monsters should, in my personal opinion, the judge should have the flexibility to assign pretty much any punishment they see fit. They should, I mean, again, there's a huge difference between accidental manslaughter and intentionally, like, it's just so ridiculous. It's almost unfathomable that they're kicking this back to juvenile court, and they're just going to get a slap on the wrist. It's just ridiculous, heartbreaking, and disgusting. Of course, I don't think there will be any justice for this family. But let me know in the comments. I mean, do you have a local district judge or district attorney that you highly respect that actually does their job and applies the law equally to everyone and ensures that bad guys are actually punished? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, try to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button and tell your friends, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leave me a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some direct feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.